learn from the other agents in your office.
Yes.
There are going to be some great agents in your office and some maybe not so great, but you can learn from a lot of these agents. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of For Real Estate. I'm Sammy Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Pesci. Thanks again for joining us on episode 3.
Numero tres.
We're excited to be here again at Bluegrass restaurant in Highland Park.
We told you we were going to take it on the road, and we're not in Chez Rebecca no mo. Like Rebecca said, we're at Bluegrass, which is at 1636 Old Deerfield Road in Highland Park, Illinois.
One of my personal favorite restaurants. Not only do they make a fantastic espresso martini, Sammy, cheers, but they have some of the best food on the North Shore of Chicago. My personal favorite is the shrimp and grits. If you haven't had it, you must run, not walk, and order yourself some shrimp and grits. My husband loves the jambalaya, and my kids swear, bold statement alert, swear that they have the best chicken fingers in the world.
Wow, that's quite a competition in the world.
Right, that should be exciting to you, who has the palate of a 5-year-old boy.
As somebody that does have a palate of a 5-year-old boy, I enjoy their hockey pasta, which has chicken, has sauce, and noodles, and I love it.
Yeah, and now you're gonna have to try the chicken fingers too.
On it, right after the podcast, I'm going for it.
All right, let's get to the meat of this podcast, though. Today, we're talking about building our business. We've mentioned before how to get into business. Now this is how to build your business. And let's start off with homeowners, because everyone has somewhere to live. Maybe you're a renter, maybe you're a homeowner. Homeowners, this is for you. But let's talk about how you can build your business of your real estate.
And when we take a look at the business aspect of it, this is most likely the biggest financial investment of your life.
Yes.
So why wouldn't we want to help you increase the value of your biggest asset? So when it comes down to it, there are certain projects you can do around the house that are naturally going to bring value to your house. But little things like, let's say you put, a new toilet in.
Oh, exciting.
Is that going to necessarily make your house worth so much more money?
No.
Okay. If you put, what else could we put? Windows, sure, they're going to add value to your house. A roof, they're going to help add value to your house. But there are definitely 2 projects in your house that are going to bring the most and the highest return on investment. Rebecca, pop quiz. What are those 2 spots in the house that are going to have the biggest return on investment when you do a project?
Wait, you didn't tell me there was a test. There's
Get
a test?
over it.
Oh my God. Okay, top two. Well, the kitchen. Hands down the kitchen. Everybody knows that.
She is so smart. She's got number 1.
Okay, but everybody knows that. Number 2, the primary bathroom.
You know what? You have earned a sip of an espresso martini for knowing both answers to that. So
did I get it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So for everybody that's listening on Apple and Spotify, we're about to take a nice little sip.
Yeah, because I earned that sip. I just answered 2 questions on the spot.
Wow. It's kind of like if you try to find that kind of excitement in any other kind of podcast, good luck. But if you enjoyed her answers and her gold star for that, I want to remind everybody, like, share, review, do all the things so we can keep it real with real estate. Just throwing it out there.
Okay, that's a little bit of a whisper. It's a little bit of a whisper.
They know. They hear me. Everybody hears me.
It's not a secret. Okay. All right, I got that one right. Yay,
okay.
I'm so excited.
I'm very proud of her. I will share a little story, though. I have to.
Uh-oh.
I once had a client, and they were getting ready to sell their house. They bought this house for $450,000 several years back. And you know what he did? He put $400,000 in improvements into his house.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
He invested a lot of liquid capital. And then he comes to me and says, you know what? I've put $400,000 into the house. My house is now worth $850,000. For those of you that need help with math, just let me know. I'm a former math teacher. Do you think his house was worth $850,000?
No.
It was not.
Probably not anywhere close, in fact.
Absolutely not. So the house was realistically worth $650,000 after all these projects.
Ouch.
So that investment is sure it's going to help you enjoy your house. It's going to help with the value of your house, but you're not going to get that perfect 100% return on investment when you do every single project around the house.
No, and I think investment is one thing, but improvements is another, right? So making these investments in your home is great. Sometimes you just have to, right? The furnace goes out, you need heat, you have to pay for a new furnace, all right? That could be considered an investment.
Sure.
But the difference is if your investments allow for improvements to your home. Have you substantially improved the condition of the home? Have you altered the footprint of the home? What have you done that has made it more valuable investments?
Yeah. And value can be as you're getting ready to resell a house. That certainly you want to raise it so you get more money. But a lot of people forget, if it's a home that you're going to be in, let's say 15, 20 years, putting in and doing those projects at your house, they're going to add to your enjoyment of the house. You're going to be looking around with a lot of pride. You're going to be potentially raising a family there, and your kids are going to really enjoy living in this house. It's been nicely furnished, that's been, nicely updated, and they're going to have a lot of pride in the house that you provide for them.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of a story. Not so much pride, but I remember as a child, in fact, when my family was getting ready to sell my childhood home, and we had grown up, we had a big basement, played down there all the time, and it was always cold, tile, some rug remnants all over.
Were there shag carpeting?
No, there was not shag.
I'm a big fan of
carpeting.
Shag is in.
It was the 80s, but there was no shag carpeting.
Oh, love shag.
But one day, all of a sudden, the basement was freshly, newly carpeted. Just in time for my parents to put it on the market and for us to sell and move away. I couldn't help but think how much more enjoyable that basement would have been for us to play in all of those years.
Of course.
If that carpet would have been there for years and years before. So there's a piece of that you have to enjoy your home too, not just improve it to sell.
It adds so much more appreciation and comfort when you're in a home that has been nicely updated. You can truly enjoy it and have your entire family enjoy it. Or if you're living there alone, naturally you're going to just have more pride in it. It doesn't matter how many people are living in it. It's just going to be that magic spot that you're going to spend a good 10 hours a day. And why wouldn't you want that to be the nicest place in the entire world?
Right. Sometimes there's no way to quantify enjoyment, but there's definitely quality of life, and that's important too.
Okay, so with building your biz as a homeowner, you are going to naturally be able to do those projects, which are going to help that value and your enjoyment of those places. All right, now that we've looked at homeowners, let's take a look at investors.
Okay, investors. Numbers are the key here, investors. If you're a flipper, if you're somebody who's looking to own property to rent, numbers. Right up your alley as a math teacher, Sammy.
Obviously.
I know, but I'm a data nerd too. I love looking at the numbers and figuring.
I would never call her a nerd, to her face at least.
I said data nerd, not a nerd. Data nerd. And there's nothing wrong with being a nerd, for the record.
Revenge of the Nerds, one of the best movies ever.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
What?
Agree to disagree. No, moving on. We're going to move on before
She doesn't like Revenge of the Nerds.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just didn't say it was one of the best movies of all time.
I didn't say it was one of the... Did I say it was one of the best
that's
movies?
going to be... that's a topic for another podcast.
We're going to have an entire episode of this podcast on Revenge of the Nerds.
No, we're not. But let's talk about investors.
Fine.
Your flipper, your landlord, those are both ways to be a really great investor in real estate. Let's start with landlords.
Okay. So like we talked about last episode, it's very important to make sure that you have that down payment for these investments. I think it's very important to talk to different lenders and see what programs they have to take advantage of, how much you got to put down for a down payment for these properties to invest in them. But once you have that first property, you have that passive income coming in, it's great because it's taking care of all of your bills. People are paying you to own a property and build your equity. And that's naturally the dream, is for you to build your net worth. But there are issues that come into play. Let's say that you have somebody that's renting your place and it's only a 1-year lease, and they move out and they really haven't kept up there is stuff that needs to be done, that needs to be updated, needs to be cleaned before the next tenant comes in. You may have a month or two that go by without any rental income. That is tough because as you run those numbers, you're kind of banking that you're going to have tenants all the time, and that's not always the case. The dream scenario naturally is for you to have a long-term tenant. When you have somebody that's there 4, 5, up to 10, 15 years, who knows, whether it's a residential or commercial property, that's the dream situation because you know you're going to have that income coming in every single month.
Right. So it's not just down payment. It's also that contingency planning, right? Like Sammy said, if you go vacant for a month or 2 or 3, that's your only income, right? The whole balance sheet of being a landlord is your income and it's your expenses. The only income you have is that tenant. So in the event you have to do any kind of upkeep or you have to do any kind of, replacement of things, that can take time. You might not have a tenant right away. You might not have a tenant right away because it's a soft rental market or it's a weird time of year.
Sure.
So you have to plan for those expenses and have that cushion. Any kind of contingency planning is a really big deal. So I would say personally, you've got that down payment, have that contingency plan, capture that next down payment, and then you can move on to building your rental business.
So as that grows, you may get 1 to 2, and then you grow to several properties that you own where you're building up that passive income, monthly rental income. Well, here's the thing. If you have 1 or 2 rental properties, it's going to be pretty easy for you to manage those properties.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to, let's say somebody's furnace is on the fritz. You're going to be able to call an HVAC company, get them out there. They're going to take care of the problem just like that. But let's say you have 10 rental properties. Let's say you have 20 rental properties. It's a lot tougher for you as an owner, as a landlord, to maintain and all of those properties. Might be a good idea at that point to invest in a property management company that's going to be able to take care of those things. They're going to be able to send maintenance people out to take care of certain issues. They're going to be the ones collecting those rental checks and getting them to your bank account, which of course is the greatest thing in the world when you get that income coming in. So definitely look into a property management company only when it works from a financial standpoint, because a lot of them naturally are going to cost money. And if you only have 1 or 2 rental properties, if you're able to take care of them yourself, save that money.
That's right. That's a really great piece of advice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow, she complimented me. That's so nice
Always
of her.
Partner.
Okay.
If you're a landlord. All right, let's talk about flippers.
Okay,
now.
let's do it.
One of my favorite kinds of clients, because they are always hot to try on their investments. They think they're going to make buku bucks on their flip. It's not always the case. I would highly suggest, if you're looking to be a flipper, no matter how excited you are about a property, that you reach out to one of us, me, you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow.
One of your trusted real estate brokers, and find out if those numbers really work. Not just what you can pay for it, your soft costs, your carrying costs, if there's any, usually these are distressed properties, so what kind of improvement costs you have, and then what your post-renovation value would be. And those numbers are a lot tighter than your rental market, your rental investor clients, because you've got a little bit of leeway with an expected revenue coming in. On a flip side, you just have that post-renovation sale. That's all the money you're going to squeeze out of that investment. So it is incredibly important to run the numbers, run them tight, run them conservatively, and ask for one of your trusted real estate brokers, like us, to help you run those so you can make sure it's a good investment.
Yeah, as we talked about getting into the game last episode, here we are building the biz. So for you investors that, you got that advice last episode, but here we're going to extend it. Now you've done it before, okay? You've done a flip. You have made money on a flip. You're going to have a lot of confidence that you can replicate it. You can do it again. You're going to be able to get a nice little profit, a 25% profit on any investment moving forward. It's tough to not get cocky and get your eyes open and have those expectations that you're going to make money on every single flipping opportunity, because that's just not the case. We have people that reach out to us, our clients, that are going to, look at some of these properties and they're going to say, you know what, I think I can make money on that property. And sometimes we look at the numbers and we don't see it. We don't see the value in a certain investment. So we're going to obviously be honest with all of our clients. Here's the thing though. We can give them all the advice in the world. But if they look at their own numbers and they have the confidence and they want to move forward with a property, we're of course going to listen to our clients. We're going to adhere to their requests. We're going to put in the offers. There have been times when they thought they could get a certain amount of money when they try to sell the property and they haven't been able to do it. And you know what? They lost money. And a lot of times you may think it's the worst thing in the world having, some of our clients lose money on a situation. But you know what? There are benefits to it because it's a lesson they need to learn sometimes that not every investment opportunity is going to be the right one. And it also kind of casts us in a really good light because we were right. We don't rub it in. We would never do that to any of our clients.
No.
But it definitely builds our credibility and our trust with them because they know that we're going to try and advise them in the best way. We don't want that. We don't want any of our investor clients to lose money. But sometimes a lesson is important.
Right. I think you have to remember that it's still an investment, like anything else, right? So you invest in the stock market, you invest in a business, whatever you're investing in. Some are winners, some are losers, and some sort of stay the course. So if you're not willing or able to take that kind of a risk, I would say don't become a real estate investor because there are some where you win and maybe you win beyond your expectations and some where you lose and lose beyond your expectations.
Exactly.
I had a client one time who was looking at a distressed property and we really ran the numbers super tight, super conservatively. We even went maybe a touch over what I thought was reasonable.
Okay.
Put in an offer. We didn't get it. Right? There's no way to know what it's going to sell for till it closes.
You can't control what somebody else is willing to offer on a property.
No. So it closes. I report back. Here's what it sold for. He says, I would have paid that.
Okay.
And I said, no, you wouldn't. The numbers don't work. You want the property because you want to win. It feels good to win, right? You want someone to say to you, you've got a deal. Congratulations. And it really feels deflating when you don't get it and you find out that somebody else overbid you. Like, well, I would have beat them. If the numbers don't work, the numbers don't work. It's truly as simple as that as an investor client. So lean on us, lean on your real estate brokers, and find out what those numbers are and do not veer. You'll find another property.
Without a doubt. Other opportunities are right around the corner. And here's a big thing. A lot of times when flippers start making money on these opportunities, they think they're going to, if they see so many opportunities out there, there are properties that are catching their eye. They bite off a little bit more than they can chew.
Sometimes.
And they see, let's say there are 10 properties out there, they want to go for all of them. They got to make sure they have enough liquid capital to cover all of those initial investments on these properties along with the renovation costs. So once again, it's so vital not only to have your trusted advisors as realtors, but your financial planners and advisors who are going to guide you properly. Because it's really tough when those investors get so stressed out because they just don't have the money. And then when they have to let go of those properties at not the best time, they're naturally going to lose money.
Yeah, now's a good time.
Now's a good time. Let's have a sip. Cheers.
Oh.
Okay, so kind of just wanted to remind everybody, here we are at Bluegrass at 1636 Old Deerfield Road in Highland Park. Just want to thank them for making a wonderful espresso martini.
That's right. Chris, Joel, Gina, everyone behind the bar, Jim and Joni. Fabulous owners for letting us record here today. Really appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. And once again, we are continuing to take our show on the road. So for all of you that are working at, owning, or know of a phenomenal local establishment that makes a mean espresso martini, either anywhere in the Chicagoland area or the greater Phoenix and Scottsdale area, hit us up at forrealestatepodcast@gmail.com. That's FOR Real Estate Podcast at gmail.com.
Right. And don't forget to like, share, rate, review, subscribe, all of those things on whatever podcast platform you'll enjoy us so we can keep bringing you more content.
And we can keep it real with real estate.
Keep it real in real estate.
You've heard it once or twice.
All
Let
right.
it sink in. Okay, so now we've talked about homeowners. We've talked about investors. Yes, we're going to focus a little bit on those agents that truly want to build their biz. So, Rebecca, let's say you got an agent that's starting the biz.
Okay.
We've talked about, them doing open houses and stuff, but how would they go about, building their biz and becoming a trusted real estate advisor?
Well, I think the most important thing you need to remember is that this is a business. This is your business. You are the CEO. You are the owner of your business. So you have to treat it like one. You have to spend money on advertising or marketing as if you were a business, right? Everyone's always so afraid to spend money when you don't really have the money coming in. So start small, start easy, but make sure that you remember that it costs money to make money.
I know so many agents who are scared of investing $50 on a Facebook's boost. It is ridiculous to me.
Really?
Yeah. It is. I just oh my God, how much did you spend? You spend more than $50? Here's the thing. Spending $50 on a Facebook social media boost, okay? Let's say the average price in your market is $500,000 for a single family home, okay? You're going to make, let's say, anywhere from $8,000 to $11,000 realistically, maybe even $15,000.
Fair.
In commission. Okay, you spend $50. Do you think you're going to make $10,000 off a $50 advertising investment?
No.
There's no way you're going to get that crazy 200 to 1 return on investment. Yes, I did math. Yes, I'm a former math teacher. Deal with it. Okay? There is no advertising in the world where you're going to get 200 to 1 return on investment. Okay? But you need to spend money if you have that liquid capital. And like Rebecca said, we are all entrepreneurs. We own our own businesses here. You have to treat it like a business if you're going to be successful in this industry.
Right. You've got a budget, or maybe, hopefully you have a budget.
Hopefully you do.
On your marketing dollars. Full disclosure, not really great at the marketing budget part, despite the fact that I have an MBA in marketing.
She's smart.
I'm not really great at the budgeting part. Ask my husband. But you have to figure out where your money's going. You have to figure out where you plan to spend it. And you have to figure out historically, when you get there year over year, where you spent the money and how it turned into business, if it turned into business, right? How you tie your advertising dollars to a revenue stream. And this sounds like really pie in the sky kind of stuff, especially if you're a new broker. I cannot impress upon you enough that you have to spend money to make money. So don't be afraid of those smart, strategic marketing opportunities. I personally would highly recommend you spend it on networking events or client events, any kind of experience over print advertising or social media or digital advertising, though don't discount those. You just have to take a look at your whole picture and figure out where you're going to spend your money. But that is how you're going to build your business. Get your name out there. Let people know who you are and what you're doing.
And what works for somebody may not work for you.
It's true.
There are people that mailers somehow work. They haven't really worked for me a ton.
No.
But that's not my jam. Some people are going to advertise like radio and TV if they want to spend a ton of money. They may invest in online lead generation, which has been great for me. Client events has been very successful for Rebecca and myself.
Yeah.
Because those people are naturally going to appreciate what we do for them, and they're going to share our information and tell everybody what magical real estate brokers we are. But really, you got to find out what works for you. That's really about spending money. But there's so much you can do to get going in this business without spending money.
Right. Number one, easy, once you do it well. I think number one thing that you can do is to be able to answer this magical question.
How's the market?
How's the market? Ding, 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 gold star. How's the market? Because you are an expert in real estate, in theory, right? No one else is doing what you're doing, although there's a lot of brokers out there. If you go to a party, you go to a family event, you're sitting around hanging out with some of your friends, If they know you're in real estate, they're going to ask you, how's the market? And you need to have an answer to that question. It doesn't have to be a really detailed answer because every market's a little bit different, but you have to be able to intelligently provide an answer to that leads them to believe that you are an expert in your field. So next time...
So, wait.
Okay.
So you're saying you shouldn't answer that question by saying there have been 15 homes that have sold above $800,000 in the last 17 days?
No, I'm not saying. Because,
Why not?
Because their eyes are going to roll back in their head. They're not even going to know what to do with that information.
Okay.
And besides the fact that that is a very specific data point that is probably only applicable to one town or the next town.
Sure.
It's not applicable to everybody. You don't even know where they are in this party when they're asking this question. But if they ask this question, you have to sort of have your elevator speech, so to speak, on how you can answer that question with some kind of intelligent response, because that positions you as an expert in the field, somebody that they can go to ask how is the market. Instead of you fumbling over your words and not really having a great response, they're like, oh, she's in it. She knows he or she, they're in it. They know what they're talking about. The next time I have a real estate question, I'm going to go to them.
And then when a lot of people get into this conversation about how's the market, they typically repeat headlines that they have clicked on social media.
Oh, everyone's an expert.
Everyone's an expert, but they're not. We're the ones that truly are in this every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so crucial. I'm not trying to sit here and get us to have instant credibility, even though we know what we're doing. But sometimes it's important to put those people in check a little bit when they think they know what's going on in real estate and they don't. When you hear people talk, oh, there's going to be a crash, this and that this year, that's not going to be the case.
No.
You know? But if you truly want to hear about it, great. Talk to a real estate professional. But here we are talking to you new agents out there or newer agents out there. You just got to have something ready to go so that you can make it conversational with your friends, family, people you come across, at a restaurant, a library, wherever you are. Make sure you have something so you can sound intelligent, because it's so crucial to gain that credibility and trust from potential clients.
Right, because everyone's an expert in real estate, right? Everyone thinks they know, right? Because they saw a headline, they read the New York Times, whatever it is. They think they know everything about the real estate market. And the truth is, unless you're in it all the time like we are, day in and day out, you don't know. And so you need to be able to answer that question. That's why they're asking you the question. They're making small talk, sure.
Yep.
But it's a little bit of a test. Can you speak intelligently on the market? So you new agents or agents looking to build your business, two very, very key things. Spend money to make money. This is your business. And number two, how do you answer the question, how's the market?
And here's another thing that you can do that's really going to help you become more intelligent so that you can let that answer flow off your tongue. Learn from the other agents in your office.
Yes.
There are going to be some great agents in your office and some maybe not so great, but you can learn from a lot of these agents. Some are going to want to help you and help you learn the biz. Others not so much.
Yeah, you'll learn real fast.
Okay, but you will do your due diligence on that. But some of them have teams. Some of them may give you the opportunity to join their teams to provide mentorship for you to shadow them and learn how things are done, how they deal with clients, how they negotiate. It's all wonderful education for you, which is going to help you thrive as an agent. And others are just givers. They're just natural, they're going to want to help anyone get established in this business. So get in the office, spend some time, do your work. Camp out for a few days in the office, especially when you're starting off. Have those conversations with people, learn from them, see who's willing to help you out, see what's been successful for them, see what hasn't worked for them, and remember, what may work for them may not work for you. If they're super social, they're going to have that gift of schmooze and gab that you may not have. That may not work for you.
Right.
But just really go through the motions, find out what works for them so that you can use it in your professional, what's the word I'm looking for?
Career?
Sure.
Progress?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Lost my train of thought.
Here's the other thing. If you can't find somebody who's going to help you,
yeah,
we can help you.
That's
right?
us.
Right. We got into this business because we were interested, and we advanced in this business because we worked hard, but also through the good graces of some wonderful, wonderful brokers along the way who have helped us. This is a relationship business, as we've said before. And so if you can't find somebody who will help you, we will help you. And all you have to do is shoot us an email at forrealestatepodcast@gmail.com. That's FOR, realestatepodcast@gmail.com. We're happy to help you. We will pay it forward. There's enough business to go around. You can be successful too.
I think it's very important. And part of this when we started this podcast, we knew we were going to try to hit everybody. Homeowners, home sellers, new agents, investors. We're here to help in any way we can. You just one of the biggest things I think that just sparked something in me is asking for help in this industry.
Yes.
Whether it's in your office or something as easy as hitting us up at forrealestatepodcast@gmail.com. Throw yourself out there.
Right. Take
Ask
a risk.
for help.
Take a risk. It'll be worth it in the end. But I think that's a really good place for us to call it a day, Sammy.
Let's call it a day.
Let's call it a day.
Yeah.
I think we called it a day with a cheers of our espresso martinis.
I think we did pretty well today.
A little sip. A sip.
A little sippy.
That's a good martini.
So where are we going to be next? We're going to have to find out. You're going to have to find out. Remember, if you've got a great place for us to check out that has a phenomenal espresso martini, Chicagoland or Phoenix Scottsdale, hit us up. You know the email. You know where to find us. But really, thank you so much again for watching. Please remember to rate, review, like, share, all that stuff so that we can continue to keep it real with real estate.
And please remember to support our local businesses like Bluegrass, who have so graciously hosted us today.
Thank you, Bluegrass.
Thank you, Bluegrass. You won't regret it. See you guys next time.
See you guys. Wonky?
Nope. No wonky.
Okay.
No wonky.
Way to de-wonk.
We're professional.
Let's wait till the phone.
They can't hear the phone anyway in this.
Okay.
They can't. Express? Cannot.
Espresso.
No, not.
Outtakes aplenty.